Hi, how are you guys? Well, I finally made it over here to this place, so I'm gonna work out my feelings. I missed the store closed, the store I had to go to. And I was in town and I didn't want to waste the trip, so I was like, I'll stop by mom's. So I showed up unexpected. She didn't mind. She made me a coffee. I was talking to her. On the way to mom's, I was thinking I was proud of myself because I feel different, I've been sober since March. I haven't smoked at all. And now I'm properly medicated, and I'm like, oh, okay. And I finally have a car to move around with, and I'm struggling with my kind of integrating back into society, I'm disabled, I mean, even the government recognizes me as being disabled. It's hard for me to do certain things or understand certain things. So I was talking to my mom, and her husband was sitting there listening in the other room, and I was just telling her how Haley was encouraging me yesterday. Mom, you're a good person. The world deserves you. You deserve to experience the world, Just... And I was telling her, like, I know, Haley, I just got the car. We're going to start going out more. And so I was, like, talking to my mom about that. And my stepdad stood up and you've got it all wrong. He started yelling at me. You've got it all wrong. You work to get a car, and then you get the car, and then you move up. You don't get a car just so you can work. And I'm like, just staring, I'm just standing there staring, like, huh? I'm not talking about work. And my mom's like, she's got anxiety. We're not even talking about work. We're just talking about her getting into the world. And he's like, you got it all backwards. And I'm like, I don't, getting yelled at. I don't even hardly leave the house. And now I'm sitting in their car. And I'm like, I don't expect you to understand. But if you want your car back, take it. So, well, there was a nice gospel song that came on. Excuse me, hold on. I'm like out of sorts, but these are just my vlogs, and I want to keep it real. When I did have a car, my mom bought it for me, and then when I needed some groceries and I was gonna get a title loan, I just gave the title to my mom, and she gave me the money that they were gonna give me for the title loan, and she said she'll hold on to it until I could use it, and my license wasn't valid at that time anyway. And then right when I was getting my license valid again, they sold the car to my cousin, and now I'm borrowing my mom's old car. She has a new car, and so does my stepdad, and they got 2 other cars on their property. This one runs. I have a hard enough time getting out of the house, So I made it. I was in the neighborhood. I'm like, crying. I'm like, I couldn't stay, going to the back with my mom. And she's just like moving along. She's like, don't pay attention to him. He just found out this medical problem. And I was listening. I was like, oh, really? I was interested. Like, oh, I'm sorry to hear that, But I have a delayed reaction, sort of. Like, I just kind of freeze or fawn, And then finally, when I was outside with my mom having coffee, I couldn't listen to what she was saying. She was talking about her plants and her trees. I'm like, Mom, I better go. I better go, Mom. She said, you're going already. And I started crying. She goes, don't listen to him. Don't listen to him. He misheard you, or he misunderstood. And I'm like, if he wants his car, he should take it back, Mom. She goes, it's my car. That's what I was dreaming about last night. About men in the world. And I'm still lucky, right? Like, even though he hollers and yells at me, I still am driving a car. He don't really understand disability or want to, or at least I'm not in Afghanistan, right? God bless them women. It's just counterproductive, you know. If you want to encourage me to get a job, maybe don't do your best to put me into a depression. Like, you do not understand my disability is a mood disorder. Screaming and yelling at me, I ain't got no healthier. I just been getting bigger and fatter and more afraid of the world. Agoraphobia. But I'm outside today. This is the thing I was telling you guys about. See? When I used to come here, there wasn't, like, they didn't have that tent. I used to exercise right under the open sun. Oh God, I'm so excited. I did, on that machine right there, I hurt my shoulder, my left shoulder, by increasing the resistance too much. So I'm just gonna take it easy today. Maybe do like 3 sets of 15 reps or something, and I don't know. I'm sure I'll feel a million times better though, because I haven't even been outside much lately. And I'm gonna exercise, you know, outside and on these cool ass machines, and take responsibility for my own feelings, no matter who's upset with me for being a burden. Oh God, I love my mama. Everybody misunderstands me. Sent me a video about this kid who said, I have a message from the Holy Spirit in Venezuela. On this day in these cities, there's going to be an earthquake. And the child predicted that there was going to be an earthquake because God is disappointed for people with their false idols and all this stuff. And then they showed like some big festival for Shango, and that it happened, you know, on that day. And he sends it to me and he asks my opinion, and I don't hold him for that. I don't hold him for anything, really. People just misunderstand me. So he sends me this reel about this woman is like talking about how she went down the rabbit hole, and you know, she was just like, okay, Jesus is king, keep God first, don't be getting distracted with these things. And my quote brother-in-law, unquote, he won't marry my sister, but they've been together over a decade, so I guess that's common law. He said, oh, what's your opinion on this video? Which was like I said, like, I don't mind discussing, like, obviously I am openly spiritual and I share my art, you know, and I'm initiated as a daughter of Obatala. And he goes, I know you work with these idols. And it took me a really long time to respond, because I was like, I take things literally, like my social acuity, you know. I'm like, I was gonna go on and like talk about it, like really respond, you know, like, oh, I think this, that, and it, you know, that kid's being a prophet and it's really beautiful that God is using him as a prophet. But then again, like the Bible says, fortune telling is a sin and you can't use it, but only if you say it's from the Holy Ghost. And, you know, explaining, like I just started explaining my worldview. Like, I believe there's one God and many avenues to that one God, you know, and I do put God above everybody else, every other energy. And like, I just started talking about it, you know, because it's my passion. Like, my lifestyle is my passion. And then I like realized, like, oh, you know, he put, I know you work with these idols. And I thought, well, then I had to step back and remember, like, your social acuity isn't, you're probably reading this wrong. Why do you feel like you need to say, why, I'm asking myself, like, why did I feel like I needed to say, you know, fortune telling or predicting the future is a sin in the Bible, but like here, this child making this prediction, which is beautiful to me, he's channeling, and you know, whatever's meant to be will be. Like, everything is here at the sufferance of God. Every single thing, you know, everything. It can be used for good or bad. That child, he gave a warning, and it was precise, like the same day and same time and everything. So
And maybe, you know, those people, maybe they were all putting, who knows, you know, who knows. And like, I was feeling like seen and heard at first when my brother-in-law asking me, like, my opinion. But then I, like, had to read more into it, and I started really, and like, oh, I see what this is about. I mean, they're very open about their views, and I think it's beautiful. I think everybody needs to, I feel deeply that everybody needs to have a strong spiritual life. In the end, I'm like, I think it's really beautiful that that God uses Boy and to direct people to put God first. And we probably disagree about, you know, the details, but in the end, I think it's a nice reel. And I was like, it's nice to see you still think about me, because that was my sentiment, you know. My phone heated up. I feel better now that I, like, talked about it, you know. So here we are. Anyway, it's just been one of those days, you know. And I had this crazy dream. I had a few dreams last night, and one of them was like about that show, The Handmaid's Tale. I stopped watching it, like, I think 3 seasons in, because it was just like too much for me. But like, the dream was like about that. And one time I was like, Mom, the show is heavy, you know. I was telling her, and she's like, it reminds me of you, Kara. And I'm like, why does it, like, it always stuck with me that she said that, like, the girl, the main character, reminds her of me, because I go against the grain, or I've always been like very confused and not okay with the way that men have always treated her. I don't understand. Like I said, the social acuity thing and taking things literally, I really do. But the dream was, it was such a reminder that there are people in the world that would see us hurt, that see us as nothing, that would, like this thing that's going on with the Olmsted, I don't know, these ideas about how disabled people don't deserve to have care in their communities, that they should be institutionalized. Like, there's all these things going on, and I think it just was like an amalgamation in my brain and my mind, and I feel very blessed to live the life that I live. Like, I feel very blessed and grateful all the time. When I got in the car and I was driving over here, because I was like crying, I'm like, calm down. And there was a gospel song, and he's like, when I need the woman, she's like, when I need my God, he shows up. When I need my God, he shows up. When I start to believe my own lies, like, just because my stepdad thinks I'm useless, or that it's okay to scream and yell at me without trying to understand, like, I'm still lucky, you know, to have help from them. Just being in that house all the time, I'm like left in my mind, you know, and like the rest of the world is going, and there's like these authoritarian things going on, and I guess the dream was like a little warning, like, be careful today, with my brother-in-law sending me, like, with that little, I just told him, thank you for asking me, because sometimes he will just ask me, like, what I think about something in the world. And especially when I lived in Florida, I love them, I love him, I love his family, but they're like born again Christians, and I'm also consider myself a Christian. But you know, people are different how they see things, and sometimes he'll say to me, I disagree with you, but I see your point. So I wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt, you know, but I also didn't want to leave the door open for somebody to be like, you know, you worship idols. Like, I put God above everything, and I don't have to like put a whole paragraph, you know. I can't let my energy be siphoned, and sometimes it's like directly siphoned. Like, I don't think he feels any type of way. Maybe he even feels better that he told me his feelings about how angry he is that I don't have a job before I have a car, before, you know. He's the one my stepdad's the one who said, you're not too good to work at McDonald's, walk over there, it's a 45-minute walk away, you know. No matter what, it's just people's views. Man, I loved living down the street from this place because I would come here all the time. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try this. Thanks for being with me, guys. Let's see how I do. Okay, let's just try to do my old so we'll do this. I guess today was arm day, but I used to do them all. But like I said, I'm trying to learn how to pace myself. Like I was telling you guys, I used to do these like crazy binge diets, like the Omni Drop diet or keto, or whatever. But I'm just trying to pace myself. So now I'm just counting, like making sure I get 2,000 calories roundabout every day, and that's it, like to monitor myself. So, but hopefully tomorrow, I think maybe I'll start bringing my son here. Like all it takes is to do it. You know, I have trouble with transitions. Sometimes when I feel overwhelmed or stressed, like what happened today with my stepdad, like I'll freeze, or I'll like fawn or freeze. And I think I had a combination of that today, because it was like when he exploded, and then when mom said, oh, he has got to get a surgery, whatever, I'm like, oh, you know, this is so good for me to work out, because I'm working my body out. It helps me get in my body and to kind of like understand my emotions and understand why, like I don't always get it right away, you know, how I'm feeling, like why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling. It's so strange. And like in that dream that I had last night, my God, I was like, it was like this weird place where if you like were not married and lived on government, whatever, you would like have to basically belong to the society where they could do anything that they wanted to you, you know, like the men or whatever. And I was like, I'm not attractive, like because I, you know, I had the double mastectomy and reconstructive surgery. I don't even have like areolas around my you know, surgically formed nipples. Like I only have one, and the other one didn't form properly. In the dream I was like trying to say that, you know, and even some of those strange men saw it as like a commodity, you know. It was just like, wow, like I can tell there's a lot of stuff building inside of me that's like weighing me down, fear-based stuff. And ever since I moved out onto the outskirts of town and I can't walk around and do things for myself on foot, and I'm depending on my parents, like I'm just, everything's just kind of like, it's all knotted up and festering inside of me. And this is like such a beautiful blessing. As long as I don't know how long I'll have the car, so as long as I have it, and I'm homeschooling, like my son he still has to do like gym stuff and physical fitness stuff, and I don't have a gym, and like study time online for a couple hours a day. So I'm just like trying to, you know, keep pace with that with him, so that when the school year starts, like I'll see if I'm going to enroll him in high school, or if like we can be reliable about seriously homeschooling and, you know, adding more study time during the school year, or if I want to do like an online public school or something like that, you know. So anyway, I don't know why my vlog is like just fucking info dumping, but that's another thing neurodivergent people do. So okay, I love this thing. Here, hold on. I only have 1% battery, so I like this. That's for squats. That's for like pull up, like sit-ups. This one is for crunches. I love that one. Here's the exercise thing, and then I love the leg press and the little walker. So tomorrow will be leg day. Okay, I love you guys. I need to go. Bye.